Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're actually going to be working on the Mustang. I'm putting the new bumper on it, new rear bumper that basically, it's called a California Special / GT500 bumper for all 05 to 09 Mustangs. Now, if you watched the last video that had to do with the Mustang, you know that the tips weren't really put on correctly, and as you can see, the stock bumper is kind of like getting melted and warped from them. So, I mean, honestly, I don't really care that much because we are going to put this bumper in today. I've already test fitted it before I painted it, and now it's all painted and ready to go. So it does fit. I know that it fits, and it should be a pretty simple process. You have to come in here, and there's basically like 1, 2, and 3 pins on each side. I also believe there might be something down there as well. But yeah, they're basically just, you can unscrew them by hand, and it's going to take this plastic piece completely off of the inside of the trunk. So now the next thing that you have to do when taking off the rear bumper is actually take out these taillights, and you're just going to take the entire casing out. Now to do that, there's 1, 2, 3. There's 3 11 millimeter bolts that kind of hold it in. So I'm just going to loosen them up. This one I can actually just undo by my hand, and the entire thing comes out, and I'm gonna just unplug the little electrical connection. There's just one electrical connection for each side. All right, so now the passenger side taillight's ready to come out, and as you guys can see, it's actually, you have to take out these 3 bolts individually, so it's not just one connection. So I'm just gonna take one out to show you guys, and all you do is just twist it and it comes right out, and you just got to be careful of the glass, the bulbs here. So yeah, it's basically, you're just gonna have them hanging. I do suggest, I'm probably gonna tape them to the body so they're not just dangling here while we're trying to get the old bumper off and the new bumper on. So now, as you can see, I got both taillights completely out, and I did just want to mention that on each side there is a 4th kind of little bulb. I think it's for your, it goes right here, so I guess it's for your turn signal, but it is a little bit harder to get out than the 3 bigger ones. But it actually says on it, I don't know if you guys can see, yeah, it says on it lock, and it's got a directional arrow. So when you're putting it in, you kind of want to twist it that way. You want to twist it clockwise. So when you're just taking it out, you want to twist it the other way. You want to twist it counterclockwise. But it is just a little bit more difficult. That's why I did just want to mention that. Taking the rear bumper off is actually just, on each side there's 2 Phillips head screws right in here. Now, if you have kind of like a nubby Phillips head screwdriver like this, you can kind of just like reach them. I don't really have to take these wheels off, and I'll have to jack the car up. But I would suggest doing that if you can't, reach it or whatever. But yeah, I'm gonna do this side, I'm gonna do that side, and I'm pretty sure there's just screws underneath the actual bumper in the middle, and then the entire assembly should come right out. And I'll show you guys underneath in the middle, and I'll show you guys any other things that I run into along the way. So I actually did run into a problem with this. So the gap was too tiny for even like the tiny screwdriver that I had. So basically what I did is I took a Phillips head drywall bit that normally goes in a drill, and I connected it with a 1/4 inch 12-point box head wrench, I think it's called. And if you do this and you use both hands, it can kind of, and if you have a ratchet, it's even better because you can go back and forth really quick. But yeah, as you guys can see, it is coming out. It just does take some time. But again, if you guys want to do this properly, I'm not rushed for time, but I do want to get this done quickly. But if you guys do want to do this properly, I definitely suggest just taking the back tires off and jacking up the car. All right, so now I unscrewed this side, and I also did that side, and I did just briefly look under there, and actually I was wrong on this stock bumper. There's no screws or anything in that. I'm pretty sure though in the new bumper that I'm going to be putting on, there are going to be screws, so I'm going to show that when we put that on. But yeah, now you guys can see that this kind of just pops right out. But if you look underneath here, you're going to have to connect this electrical connection on each side, because it goes to your back quarter marker lights. And then once you disconnect that, I'm pretty sure there's a way to pop them out once the entire bumper's off, so we can transfer them from the old bumper onto the new bumper. Guys, so I know I just said that there's no screws or bolts like on the bottom of the middle of this bumper, but over the top, actually I completely forgot. It's basically 1, 2, and then 3, 4, and I don't know if you guys can see them. I'll try to show it to you. But yeah, they're right in there. They're 4 11mm bolts. Now I already took this one out, as you guys can see right here. But when you're taking this out, you know, you need a deep socket, and I do suggest, I'm not doing it with a magnet, but I do suggest using a magnet when you're in there, because basically there's no way to get it if it drops down. I don't know how to describe it, but yeah, if it drops down in here, there's no real way to get it, because the body, you'll see when the bumper comes off, but the body is like here on the outside, or like the metal rather is like here on the outside, and there's metal in here. So it's basically like this big pocket. I guess this is like the crumple zone or something. But yeah, there's no real way to get a bolt if they fall down there. So definitely take your time, and definitely be careful with those 4. All right, guys. So now the bumper is completely off, and the last 3 things that you have to do is just take out this bulb for that's the light for like the license plate light, and then take out that bulb and that bulb. Well, we did that before, but actually take out these little, like, kind of, I don't know, but they connect to the bumper, and they kind of like, the bumper kind of holds the lines in place, so you do have to kind of disconnect that all. Again, you can just do that all by hands. Now, something that I did want to show you guys is that the absorbers on the bumper they got completely melted from, again, the exhaust being not correct, and you can kind of see how they're all like, some of it's on the stock bumper. So yeah, definitely make sure when you do an exhaust you do it correctly, because or else this is going to happen. Now this one got melted so bad that it came completely off. So that being said, we're going to have to kind of just glue this back on here, and it'll be fine. Like, it's going to work with the new bumper and everything. But yeah, before I drive this thing at all, I'm going to make sure that the tips are going to be 100% correct with the new bumper, because I don't want this not just screwing this up anymore, but I don't want this warping the new bumper in any way. All right, so now I get the 2 bumpers side by side, and basically the 3 things that you need to transfer from the old bumper onto the new bumper is the 2 marker lights, the side marker lights, and the license plate light. Now the license plate light is actually just 2 Phillips head screws, and there's holes in the new one for those screws, and the marker lights actually kind of just pop in. You want to make sure that this part is towards the front. Ooh, yeah, I actually have it upside down. So yeah, make sure that part's towards the front, and they should just pop right in. Honestly, if you're forcing it, you probably have the wrong one on the wrong side. So actually the last thing that you need to transfer from your old bumper to the new bumper is actually this entire assembly that has the bolts on it. So in the assembly, there was actually like rivets in here, here, and here that just kind of like held it together. So wherever there was rivets, we're gonna be putting like body screws in there. And then these bolts are actually the ones where once the bumper goes on, they're kind of like the ones where you kind of have to take the nuts out of like that like awkward location there. So yeah, once we're done putting screws in this thing, I'm basically just gonna put it on, connect all the electrical connections, and then I'm gonna have to start dealing with the exhaust tips. All right, guys, so like you just saw, we did actually have to cut the tips before putting the bumper on. But yeah, now it's on. It looks great. I really like the kind of two-tone where, because this part is actually unpainted. Now, yes, it's dirty, but the rest of my car is not clean right now. So this bottom part, this diffuser part that wraps all the way around, is actually not even painted. And then this part is actually alloy, but my dad actually did it himself. So there is a little bit of orange peel in the paint. You can kind of tell the difference. Like the regular body is a little bit more clearer than the bumper. So I'm definitely going to fix that in the future. But honestly, for right now, it looks fantastic. And basically the paint that we use to paint this is actually, you know, just the regular alloy factory paint that we ordered. So now I actually have like S pipes over here, and we're going to be cutting the exhaust more. I also still have the tips from pipes. If you watched the exhaust video, you know what I'm talking about. If you didn't, I'll put a link to it like right now or whatever. It should pop up somewhere. But yeah, now basically the entire job is not done, but the bumper job is done. We're just gonna, you know, tighten everything in, and then now our main focus is gonna be making sure those tips are good. All right, guys, so now basically everything's back together, and yeah, what do you guys think? Should I go for the Shakutan exhaust? Yeah, no, I'm kidding. The last thing I need is more people calling me racers, because, you know, I already have a V6 Mustang. So, but anyway, this side actually looks really perfect. I think it's pretty much all we got to do is just chop it, and it's going to line up fine. Now this side is kind of crooked, so we're going to chop the original pipe and then hopefully fit it, and obviously, you know, chop it to fit. And then the actual tips, the black tips from pipes, which again, if you haven't seen my exhaust video, definitely go check it out. But yeah, they're gonna fit really good. And yeah, it's not gonna look like this when it's over. Obviously, I keep saying that, but the pipe should line up really, really good with the bumper once everything's done. All right, guys, so now it's actually the next day. The bumper's completely on, the tips are good, and I'm really, really happy with how they turned out. As you can see, like, the tips are chopped and they're like almost lined up perfectly with the diffusers on both ends, and it fits perfect. And I know that my car's filthy right now, and this is filthy. This has got to be, everything's got to be cleaned, but you can kind of tell the difference between the paint. Like I said before, it is the factory color, but we did it ourselves, so there's a little bit of, you know, orange peel on there. But I mean, just standing back, like here, like they look almost spot on. I mean, I don't know if you guys can tell also, but underneath these black tips, you can kind of see the pipes in there. I'm probably just gonna go in there and spray paint that metal black with like high temperature spray paint. But yeah, I'm really satisfied with this bumper. I got it off American Muscle, I believe. I'll probably leave a link in it down in the description below. But it fits like OEM. It fits really good. And most of the time when you get a bumper and it fits and it kind of just goes right in, yes, it's an involved process, but it's pretty simple most of the time. And I'm very satisfied with it. So if you watched to the end of this video, definitely be sure to leave a like, comment down below anything you'd like to see in the future. But until the next one, see ya.